you're ready for class, grab a chair or set yourself up somewhere close to a chair or your couch, somewhere you can put your legs up on. I like to have something squishy under my head, so I'm grabbing that as well. We'll just bring our legs up onto your surface. Get cozy, find the right spacing. Sometimes it's nicer to be a little bit farther away. I find that having my knees at about 90 degrees is just a good place to start. Maybe a pillow under your head, or especially if you're on a hard surface, maybe you get some cushioning underneath your low back. And this pose, some people call it instant Maui. So I hope you feel like you're on vacation here for a moment, getting all the pressure out of your feet, out of your legs. This could slow your heart rate a little bit. Let's start to deepen the breath as you notice and relax your body. Noticing if you are having to keep your legs up, or like hold your legs up on your chair. So if you can let go of the need to support yourself, just let your legs kind of go where they will. You can decide to add more support if you want. Steadying and deepening your breath. Noticing tension fading from the muscles around your eyes, your forehead, your jaw. Softness through the shoulders, the hands. Maybe a sense of groundedness through the back of your body, connecting to the floor. Notice what else you're noticing. Are there any emotions or thoughts or anything else that come in? Or does it feel really smooth and easy to just keep paying attention to your breath? It's not an either or, but maybe you notice the fluctuation between presence and distraction, between the present and the future or the past. And that is, part of the human experience. So we're not trying to get rid of that part of ourselves. We're not trying to rid ourselves of our ego or our shadow sides or any parts of ourselves. Our work is to open and stay open to the possibility of all of our parts being welcome. So no need to edit out your experience. This is no highlight reel, just arriving in this moment how you are. Practicing being with what is, whether we like it or not. If you'd like to set a dedication or intention, feel free to claim that now or call that up in your mind. Something you're working towards, or maybe you want to dedicate your energy and time towards a loved one or group of people who need our care. Eventually, we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes. Let your head rock from side to side. Kind of reawakening. Maybe kind of arching your back or wiggling in any which way. Bring your feet out to the edge of your seat, and we'll just kind of hang out here in a passive squat. So feet just kind of pressing in to the edge. You could wrap your hands around your knees or shins and pull in a little bit more if you'd like. Maybe adding in a little bit of a rock side to side or circling of your knees. If you feel too close to your chair, backing away. And one way or another, we will back away from the chair or seat now, so just kind of wiggling your way back. You can roll onto either side and then press your way up to a comfortable seat. We will use the chair again later, so we won't put it too far away. I'm gonna sit up on something here, making it more comfortable to stay in this seated position. Let's sit up nice and tall. You could have your legs out. You can even like hold on to your knees or lean up against a wall or even sit in your chair. We're just lengthening the spine, feeling the back of your neck, lengthening upwards all the way to the crown of your head. Just taking a micro tuck of your chin so the back of your neck feels a bit longer. Come back to your breath. And then with an inhale, let's reach the arms around and up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Tuck in your chin all the way when you get there. Inhale, hands go high. Let your gaze follow. And exhale, sweep your arms around and down. Work in your own range of motion here. Inhale, rising up, looking up if you want. Exhale, hands come down to heart center, chin tucks. Use your own breath now to flow. Inhaling as you rise and exhaling as you lower. Inhale, filling up, rising, and exhaling. Keep going. Next time your arms are lifted, let's exhale and side bend towards the right. So the right arm lowers, the left arm reaches. With an inhale, we rise right back up. We'll flip sides a few times. Exhale, side bend to the left. Left arm lowers, right arm reaches. Inhale, back up to the center. Exhale, side bend the other way. Follow your breath here and keep moving side to side a couple more times. Maybe one more time on both sides. We'll want to end on the left side. Eventually inhale and come back up. And then exhale, lower your arms on down. Let's straighten the right leg out. Give your leg maybe a little shake or a tap. Mine has gone asleep a bit. Let's twist toward the bent knee, toward the left, bringing your right hand to your left knee, your left hand helping you sit up nice and tall. And before you even think about twisting, just sit up really, really tall again. Here, maybe you even stay in this position. I'm feeling a nice stretch to the inside of my right leg. If that's pleasant, feel free to stay. Otherwise, take a big breath in here. And then exhale, a little more twist toward the left, gazing toward your left shoulder. Inhale, unwind so you can take a full breath in. We're staying on this side. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come back to or unwind for your full breath in. And then exhale, twist. Let's stay in our twist here for another breath or two. We can do our test here for active range of motion. So maybe picking up your hands and seeing if you can kind of muscle your way to stay in your position, your twist. Holding this like engagement at the end of your range of motion will be of more benefit to you than the passive stretching where you're not engaged and you're just pushing your way into it. And then release, come back to the center. Let's switch sides. The left leg goes out long, the right knee bends. We're finding that twist toward the right. Again, starting by just getting in this nice upward position. And with an exhale, twisting or gazing past your right shoulder. Inhale, unwind just enough. And exhale to twist. One more time like that. And this time we'll stay in our twist. You choose if you want to keep this passive by holding on with your hands, or if you want to lift your hands up and see if you can hold yourself into this twist safely, comfortably. And then releasing. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. It does not matter how close or how far your heels are to the rest of your body, just wherever is comfortable. Maybe sitting up a little higher on more blankets or pillows if this is a challenge. You can hold onto your shins or ankles. Again, we're sitting up nice and tall. Maybe you feel a nice stretch kind of through the groin. There's so much we can do just by sitting up nice and tall. And we're getting a cat and cow motion going here next. So let's exhale and round the spine, tuck your chin, kind of push back. With your inhale, let's find a cow-like pose. We're pulling the chest through, we're puffing up the chest, we're looking up. Exhale, rounding back, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone. Inhale, cow, puff up your chest. Keep moving through this a few more times. And then eventually straighten both legs. Give your legs a little shake. Let's move along to hands and knees. We'll do a regular cat and cow now. Possibly grabbing some extra cushioning under your knees. There's hands right below the shoulders, knees more or less right below your hips. Inhale, cow pose, belly lowers, gaze lifts. And exhale, cat, rounding up through your spine, pushing through the knees and the palms. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep flowing with your own breath here. Notice your shoulders. See if there are any parts of the spine that just feel more or less, I want to say, online. I swear there are parts of my spine, even with lots of practice, that I just have no awareness around like the articulation of. So we're just noticing. It's fine. No big deal. Let's find our way to extended child's pose, bringing your knees out wide, big toes touch behind you, sink your seat toward your heels. If your knees do not like that, go ahead and stay lifted. You can come up to your forearms. You have your forearms up on blocks. Or feel free to sink your head and heart toward the floor. Let's quickly thread the needle here. Let's scoop that right arm underneath the left arm, right shoulder inside of the head, possibly lowering to the floor or blocks. Breathe and notice the outside of that right shoulder joint or the back of it. And then we'll switch sides. We're planting the right hand and dipping the left arm down and through. Thread the needle. And go ahead and come out of that. Let's make our way back up to tabletop. We'll find our first downward facing dog here. So grabbing your blocks, or you could use your chair here. This would be a great chair. Great time to use your chair too. So hands either on your chair or your blocks, curling your toes under, and then reaching your tailbone high. Make sure your breath is flowing here, and then maybe warming up with a little bending and straightening opposite knees. Even if you don't need the chair, you could just try it anyway. Placing your hands on the seats or the back of your chair. And eventually we'll come up to extend or ragdoll pose. So walking your feet up towards the top of your mats, letting your arms sway and your upper body be kind of loose. If you're hypermobile like me, make sure your knees are at least slightly bent here, maybe even coming up to a halfway lift kind of position. You can still let your neck kind of hang loose. And I'm still sensing a really nice stretch through the back of my legs. Eventually rise all the way up. We'll stand, getting out all the kinks and shaking off all the just excess energy. Let's get a little bit of a jump or a shake or a bounce going throughout the body. Oh. We'll jump, loosen up. Okay. Come on up toward the top of your mat if you want. Find a solid footing, looking down at your feet. We're gonna rise up to the tippy toes. So lifting your heels whenever you're ready. And then lower back down. Let's do it a couple times. If you're thinking this feels a little harder than it should, get yourself some support. Practice asking or giving yourself support. You don't even have to ask anybody else for it. So we're lifting and lowering a couple of times. If you want, you can inhale and lift your arms at the same time as you come up to the tippy toes. Exhale as you lower. Maybe it's kind of similar to how we were when we were sitting down, inhaling as we rise up. And then exhaling as we lower. This is definitely working on all of our stabilizing and balancing muscles. All these little repetitions that we do hopefully come in handy anytime we catch ourselves when we almost fall or what have you. Okay, shaking it out. Let's come back up to the top of our mat. We will continue this theme of balancing. So we'll bring our hands to heart center. Let's come to balance on the left foot. Lift your right knee up to one-legged mountain pose. You can always keep your right toes on the floor here or up on some blocks. Otherwise, if you're feeling steady, maybe bringing your right knee up to about hip height. Taking a breath in. And then exhale, step your right foot back and bring your hands either to your blocks or to your chair. We're going to step back with the left foot, three-legged downward dog. So left foot steps back and lifts behind us. Big breath in and out. Last breath in. And then exhale, step your left foot forward. We're going to rise back up the same way we kind of went down. So see if you can come to stand in one-legged mountain pose. Do what you can, lifting that right knee. And then give it a rest. Everything back down to the floor. You can shake it out a little bit. We're going to do this on the other side, and then we'll repeat it so we get this little sequence down. So balancing on your right leg. Let's find one-legged mountain pose with the left knee lifting. Maybe lifting your hands overhead if you want. And exhale, step that left foot back. Hands come to the floor, blocks or chair, inhale. And exhale, three-legged down dog, right leg lifts high. 2 breaths, inhale. And exhale. 1 more breath in. And then exhale, step your right foot back up as far as you can. If it's a really hard step up, feel free to step way out towards the right side first. Make your way up to one-legged mountain pose with your left knee lifting. It should be a challenge. So let go of that perfectionism. And eventually set your leg down. Bringing hands to heart center, possibly closing your eyes here. Just take a moment. Take a moment to kind of visualize what we just did there. Bringing your body and your breath back into balance. We've done this a couple of times in past classes, but we're going to actually visualize ourselves moving through this series of poses before we actually repeat it again. So you're going to just stand here, hands at heart center or wherever you choose, and I'm going to cue as if you were physically moving your body, but do your best to imagine yourself doing the movements. Imagine the movements, okay? Inhale, one-legged mountain pose, right knee lifts, arms lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, lower hands to the floor. Inhale here. And exhale, three-legged down dog, lifting the left foot behind you. Big breath in and out. Last breath in. And exhale, step that foot to the top, rise up, one-legged mountain pose, and step back down. Hands come to heart center. I'm going to give you a couple moments to just try your best. See if you can cue yourself imaginatively through the other side. So just walk yourself through it to the best of your ability. Skip anything you forget. Okay, now we will experience it again, fully moving this time. So opening your eyes if they were closed. Inhale, lift in your hands, one-legged mountain pose with your right knee lifting. Exhale, step your right foot back, hands come to the blocks or floor. Big breath in, prepare. And exhale, three-legged down dog, left leg reaches high. Breathing in and out. One last breath in. Exhale, step your left leg forward. Breathe like normal as you come back up. One-legged mountain pose with your right knee lifting. And exhale, set your foot down, hands at heart center. Find that steady place within you. Let everything else catch up. And then we will switch sides. Just make sure your breath has come back to normal. With that next steady breath, inhale, left knee lifts, one-legged mountain. Exhale, step it back, hands to the floor or your chair. Inhale, prepare. And exhale, three-legged down dog. Right foot lifts behind you. Breathing in and out. Last breath in and out. This time we're setting the right foot down, regular downward facing dog. One last breath in. And breath out. Lower your knees. And then lower your chest all the way to the floor. Press into the tops of your feet so much that your knees get light. Inhale, lifting your upper body up off of the floor, using the strength of your back and muscles around your spine. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift back up, baby cobra, head and chest lift. Feel your shoulder blades hug together behind you. Exhale, lower. One last time, inhale, lift. Let's stay lifted here. For the exhale, inhale, option to lift up your feet, maybe just an inch or two. Feel those glutes. Exhale, last breath in. And exhale, crocodile pose. Stack your hands or fists beneath your forehead and rest your head on top. Let your heels splay out to the sides. Maybe sigh. Are there any parts of you that feel resistant to softening right now? Every exhale helping you to release that tension. All right, let's plant the right hand next to your chest. Straighten your left arm off to the left side. Bend your knees so your feet hang out in the air behind you. Press onto your left side. So pressing into the right hand, returning onto the left side a little bit or all the way. You can kind of adjust the angle that your left arm is at. Let's see if we can find a nice stretch through like the ball of your left shoulder. You could touch your right foot down or just kind of stack your knees. See what intuitively feels right to your body. I need a little block pillow here. That's nice. So this is called open wing or broken wing pose. I prefer open wing. Maybe on April Fool's Day one year I'll do like a all the poses that I don't like the names of. Like dead bug, broken wing. Maybe that's about it. Okay, then come on back to your stomach very slowly. I think it feels so like heavenly to just go slow in between sides here. Take your time. Bending or planting that left hand as we straighten that right arm out. You could keep your right elbow bent a little bit or just find kind of a different angle if you want. Or bending our knees and then pressing onto the right side. Maybe getting that little block pillow thing going beneath your head. If your breath feels restricted, it just might be a sign that you're pushing too far. Eventually rolling back onto your stomach. And then go ahead and roll onto your back from here. Actually, we'll probably want to eventually be facing the chair again, so just orient yourself as you will. Let's take a long body stretch, arms and legs reaching in opposite directions, straightening, reaching in opposite directions. And then we'll hug the knees in towards the chest, hug your forehead in towards your knees. Let your head and shoulders come down to the floor, but keep holding onto your knees. We can bend your elbows and hug your knees in a little closer. And straighten your arms, letting your knees go a little farther away. Go ahead and roll or rock some massaging pressure around your low back. And look at a little sacrum there that connects to the pelvis. We'll set both feet down on the ground here. Press your hands into the sides for support. Let's start to lift and straighten or almost straighten that left leg. The more you push down into your right foot, I think the easier it is to get your left leg lifted. You can always grab hold of that left thigh or bend your knee a little bit more. So you find a nice comfortable-ish variation of this. Let's circle the left ankle a couple times in both directions. Pointing and flexing. Wiggling your toes. I bet you can hear my toes cracking now with that this new microphone. Okay, then bend your left knee, place your left ankle on your right thigh, figure 4. Good stuff. We can just hang out right here or press your left hand into your left thigh or your left knee. Maybe rocking your legs, your knees a little bit side to side. This can kind of turn into a little bit of a twist here too. So maybe you really let your legs veer over to one side, twisting. And then the other. Let's continue to explore figure 4. You make up the rules now. You want to work with that active range of motion again? Maybe you, just using your strength, pick up your right knee and kind of hold yourself into this figure 4 position. Ooh. That actually feels really invigorating right now. It makes me feel very like strong and able. Ah. Oh wow, that's good. We're continuing to explore. And then when the time is right, we'll switch sides, eventually bringing both legs back or both feet back to the floor. If you want to take any movements or stretching in between the sides, you certainly can. But eventually, this time we're going to lift and straighten that right leg, spreading out your toes, circling your right ankle. Just get all of those joints moving. And then figure 4 when you're ready, bending your right knee and placing your ankle on your left thigh. Staying there or pressing your right hand into your right thigh or knee. Maybe holding steady or exploring edges in twists or turns. Maybe really work on your hip and core strength by picking up your left foot and just kind of holding everything in place. And when you've had enough on that side, come on back to the center. Let's straighten and lift both legs. Give everything a little kick or a shake. Or maybe you pretend you're like biking. Just getting our circulation going a little bit more. And then happy baby. We'll reach for the inside or outside edges of the feet or behind your knees and just kind of pull your thighs in toward your stomach, your knees in towards the armpits. You can hold steady or play around a little bit here. If this hurts your low back, you can skip it altogether or opt for that knees pulled in toward the chest position. Then if there are any last poses, movements, or stretches your body or your mind or your spirit want, feel free to move in those ways before settling back into our instant Maui, like how we started today. Legs up on your couch or your chair or your ottoman. Get some blankets or cushion going where you can. Eventually getting right back into it. The relaxing part, that is. Take your time. Maybe dimming the lights or grabbing a little eye pillow or towel or scarf to put over your eyes. And I've got a reading from Ram Dass that I would love to share today. Notice a picture here of Ram Dass, Richard Alpert, Dr. Richard Alpert here. He is an American spiritual teacher who passed away a few years ago, but is still well loved and known. The beauty of a true spiritual journey is that it keeps unfolding from inside yourself. And if you just wait a little longer, you'll see how hungry you are for integrity inside yourself, for a certain quietness, for a certain clarity. The tendency in our society is when there's dis-ease to grab another experience in order to reduce it. Most of us, the minute we're bored, we move to the next thing to avoid it. And we're left with that fear of or dis-ease about boredom. It's interesting to make peace with boredom. Nothing's happening, nothing's ever going to happen again, and here we are. It's fascinating because when you pull back from a certain level of experiencing life and see that it's just more stuff. No matter how fancy the packaging is, it's just more stuff. So that's why the timing of practices is interesting. I'm put down a lot for being an eclectic slob because most traditions say you've got to go deep into a tradition to make it pay off. After a while, though, they all seem to be saying the same thing to you. It's like reading holy books. At first, you're really getting new conceptual structures and new ideas. And then after a while, you feel the redundancy of it all. They're all saying the same things. They're just different strokes for different folks. The question is, why do you do practices? Because a lot of people will step away from this and say, I ought to meditate. Forget it. Don't. Go out and lust some more. Go until you are so nauseated by your own predicament that you yearn to meditate. Get so hungry for it that you can't wait to just sit down. Turn off the television, turn off the drama, and just be quiet for a few minutes. Wait until you really want it. Because when you start with I should, you end up hating the practice, hating everybody, and hating yourself. Then you cheat, and then you get guilty. It's a whole thing that you psychologically do. Forget it. You came here, and that was an honest thing you did. You are here. What you hear, you hear. What you don't hear, you don't. Don't collect it. If it doesn't stick, forget it. It'll come around again. Another lifetime, maybe. Maybe 10,000 lifetimes, who knows? Ram Das, leaving us with lots of thoughts and questions. And you feel ready to begin reawakening your physical body. Do so gently with some wiggles of fingers and toes. Maybe deepening your breath. You could reach into a long body stretch. Or eventually just roll onto either side, finding the fetal position. Take a breath or two. Make your way up to a comfortable seat, joining hands at heart center. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Bringing thumbs together up at third eye center. Let's take a little bow forward to seal in our practice together now. Thank you.